Hi everybody, Tashi here from Pixie Mommy's Reborns. Welcome back, and to everybody new, hello and welcome. This is Oscar. He says hi aunties and uncles. And to all of you new, Oscar is a full-bodied silicone baby, and he is the Dwayne Awake #2 by Claire Taylor. And he is gonna have a drink and wet feeding today while we chat. It was snowing here on Long Island, New York. We had a snowstorm yesterday, as a matter of fact. And he's all cozy warm right now, gonna have a bottle and get changed. I just had a Kate Quinn order come in. Probably do a haul. But so now I'm like really excited to change him and try something on, even though I love this outfit he's in. But I think I'm gonna try at least the bib. And to everybody that does follow my channel, that saw him get changed into this outfit, it's by Next Baby. I did go with the gray moccasins for photos, and then I put these soft Irish wool booties on him afterwards, so he's been in them all like cozy warm for the past few days. So I've been enjoying him all cozy. But since he's going to get changed, I'm going to take this sweater off at least, and maybe we will just try out, because I got a bib for along in my Kate Quinn order. I ordered all rainbow stuff, so y'all will get to see the print if I use the bib. So I'm gonna do that, and I figured I would chat with you all. I actually do have a topic. So let me see, while I'm getting him set up, I'm going to remind you all now to go and press that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you never miss a video. Make sure you give a big thumbs up, go give it a like. And also my channel has a membership. So if you would like to support my channel and participate in exclusive live streams and other exclusive perks, it's $1.99 a month. That's all inclusive. You can cancel it at any time, but you must be 18 years or older to join. But for the price of a cup of coffee a month, come on in and hang out in the Pixie Squad. There's always a link in the description below, or you can click the blue join button that is next to subscribe. So this is the print from Kate Quinn, the rainbow print. I'm sure a lot of you may be familiar with it. I know Kate Quinn is a fairly popular brand these days amongst us doll collectors. I'm just trying to get the knot on this because I do not have a scissor anywhere near me, which I should have thought of. I forgot that the bib would also have a tag on it. Oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get this. Sometimes I try to do the knots and like save the tags, but like on a difficult one I wouldn't. Oh man, that stinks. Oh, you know what? Let's try this way. Yes, I could do this way. All right. Sorry, that took a second there. So anyway, my mind was going, as it always is. It never stops. And as some of you know, I've been kind of laying around well, at least over the weekend. I have a bad back. I have spinal stenosis, severe spinal stenosis, degenerative arthritis, and slip discs. I had 2 emergency spine surgeries already, 2 discectomies. Well, it was 1 surgery, but they had to go back in the next morning, so like technically it was 2, I guess. Anyway, so I've been hanging about, and I've been watching some YouTube and just not dolly YouTube, but just, shows and things like that. So my mind always, like, I don't know, like anything I'm watching and stuff, like my mind goes everywhere. And I was thinking about history, just, history in general, like the history of, you know, our country. I'm in the US. To those of you around the world, the history of mankind, just all kinds of history. So that got me thinking too. Oh, there we go. Oscar was hungry, and I got nice warm baba here for him. So that got me thinking to the history of reborn dolls and silicone dolls, the history of our hobby. And so this conversation is going to be like, this is just like what I know of, not necessarily, don't take it for gospel. And I really don't have like exact, like years and stuff like that. But I know sometime, I believe in the early 90s, reborn dolls were like discovered or kind of came to be a thing. And to my knowledge, back then, people or I guess artists would take dolls, like already done dolls, like I believe they did the Behringer dolls, and they would reborn them. They would, paint details on them. I think sometimes they took wigs off or sanded, that kind of fake hair, like sculpted hair or whatever it was. They did things. They sanded things. They modified the dolls, and they added, details, like creasing and blushing and, things like that. And it progressed from there. I believe it was Pat Moulton, if I'm not mistaken, was the first sculptor to sculpt the very first, like, quote, reborn doll, like specifically, sculpted and casted and poured into vinyl, specifically made to be reborn. I forget the name of that sculpt. Actually, I have to ask my friend Sarah, because I think she has that sculpt. But I'm pretty sure it was Pat Moulton that was the first sculptor. And if I'm mistaken and somebody knows for sure, that's been around, definitely please correct me in the comments. But from there, the hobby progressed, and to what it is now, So you think about it, in sometime in, I believe, the 90s, and then I think more in the 2000s, like maybe 2006 or so, the early 2000s, the hobby became, much more popular. And sometime in the, I think mid to later 2000s, not 2000s, we're in 2021, but the like 2008, 2010, somewhere around there was the, first oh, well, I don't know, I shouldn't say that, because the full-bodied silicones, I think it was it, I don't want to misspeak on who. I know Claire Taylor was actually one of the first couple artists to make a full-bodied silicone available to, for sale to the public. But so that's just a roundabout talking about, like, approximate, roundabout years, dates of, when things got going. So if you think about it, we're in 2021 now, to anybody that's, watching the video later on, because I do have that happen sometimes, where I'll get comments on videos of mine from a year ago, 2 years ago, or even the beginning, like 3 years ago, the beginning of my YouTube. Um, and I was thinking about that too. The us collectors in the hobby that do YouTube, that once your channel's been going for a couple years, you have that as, like I've always said on my channel from the beginning, actually. Do we need a burp here, little man? Let's see. Oh my goodness, yes, you took more than half this bottle. We definitely need a burp. Definitely need a burp. Oh, we got dribble. We always have that. I gotta remember to. Oh, it's a brand new bib. I gotta remember to let you swallow. Tip him back and let him swallow first. But I think a mouthful kind of comes out either way, because once the bottle's out, the pressure's gone. So, some stays in his mouth. So he dribbles like a baby, which is really cute. Oh my gosh. You silly boy. Let's crank this up a little bit so y'all can see him. So I was thinking about that, and I've always said, like, we have this as like a vlog, our vlog, which is neat. I wonder one day down the road, will my kids ever watch this when I'm gone? Or I don't know, just, get you thinking about stuff. But again, it also got me thinking about the history and how far we've come in a relatively short period of time. Look at how the art has progressed. Now, I would love to see like a channel or an artist, somebody that has been here, for 20 years, that perhaps does have like some chronological, pictures of the like progression of the reborn dolls. Would be really cool to see that all in one place. But it also got me to thinking, when you want to think about like the future and things, and art and anything, inventions and creating things, and you got to look at the past as well, right? You look at history. The further back in time you look, the further forward you can see in a certain respect. So I wonder, where do you all think the hobby will be in another 10 years, or maybe 20 years? But I see things happening, like artist techniques, with the reborn dolls, in the details, in the way that they're painting, in the silicone dolls, in the way that they're sculpted. And oh my goodness, there's a lot. Oscar, you got mommy soaked. This soaked right through to my shirt. Oh my. I think he probably got took like, yeah, maybe too much. I was feeding you and not paying attention, because there was over 4 ounces in this bottle, and it's down to less than 2. So I would say it was 3. He probably took a good 3 ounces. I should have sat him up and burped him. My bad. But yeah, so I was really like, I don't know, I was giving that some thought. And it makes you think too about the not scammers, but like the counterfeiters, like the knockoff sculpts that are like stolen from our artists, sculpts that are more than likely, I think it's known that they're produced mostly in China, and they're knockoffs, they're fakes of, the originals. So they're, not, I'm I believe it to be known that they're definitely not the same quality, not exactly the same sculpt, but I think how they get away with like stealing a, like an artist copyrighted work is they probably change, they'll take the sculpt but they'll modify something, like change the position of a finger or just something. They can change some little thing, and of course, pouring it in crappy vinyl and not good quality and things like that, but um they'll change it in some way to do that. Now, right now, those kind of counterfeit um dolls in our world, our community now is, number one, it's seen as like a taboo, as far as, we want to protect the integrity of the art and protect our artists, our sculptors. We want them to, continue to, sculpt and all that, which they are. But I know some artists have expressed publicly their frustrations, with their art being stolen, and rightfully so. I would be very upset as well, and it's upsetting for me to see for them. And all we can do is share with people and newcomers coming in that, there are fakes, out there, and, you want to make sure COA can be reproduced, they can fake copies of those too. So you really just want to make sure that you're buying from a reputable dealer if you're, purchasing the sculpt. But my thing is I'm wondering, will eventually artists start doing it? Start painting counterfeit. Well, I know they do now, but I mean like on more of like a mass thing, like, will these, places, these counterfeiters kind of figure out how to put, I don't know, a bunch of women in a factory, slap and paint on these, counterfeit, sculpts that are cost, less money to produce or much less quality. Of course, the art's going to be, they can call things hand painted. I mean, you can get a little ceramic knickknack that's hand painted, that's, just made in a sweatshop, So I'm like, geez, I wonder, it just gets you thinking, like, are the collectors are all of us now that basically they're here that collect the real art because we want that ultimate realism, we want the quality, we of course want to support the artist, but anybody that's been in this hobby kind of more than 2 seconds kind of has learned that you get what you pay for, that there's really, sometimes you could fall in it on the second market, a really good deal or something like that. But for the most part, when you're looking at these dolls and the detail, the quality, the realism and all that, you really do, for the most part, get what you pay for. So, my discussion, it's not even it's just a discussion. It's just to discuss with other collectors. It's not, I have no idea what's going to happen. It's just an interesting thought to think of how things progress, where we are now. I love where we are now as far as, the artists are just, I feel like every year they're just, progressively just gaining more and more techniques. I think, probably quality materials are available. Look at Bountiful Baby, for instance. They started out, this little company. If you go on and you look at their like original videos, because they do have a YouTube, the Denise Pratt, sold the supplies. They got them together in their garage and their kids helped and they shipped them out, because she wanted to help, supply artists, to find things like, eyes and hair and zip ties and bodies and the things that she was looking for to, make the dolls. Um, so look at how far, now we have, many manufacturers. There may be other manufacturers that have been around that long. I'm not familiar with the history of all of our manufacturers, but I know that we have many excellent ones. And I think that they're growing, thriving companies. So they continue to make, paints and supplies and things available to us, or to artists, um, artists, collectors, just whoever. And I think that that is an amazing, wonderful thing. I know, like, is it McPherson's now is doing the partial silicone sculpts, and I think they are made to order and poured by the Dainty Loft, or at least that's the last I've looked at them. That's what they were. I don't know if they've changed that, but it's just really neat to see that, more and more options are becoming available, more and more new artists coming in, which, you all know that I am very supportive of our artists and, um, you know, uh, new artists and talent. I love to see them growing and thriving and, pushing their limits to, so that, to continue, learning and growing. And I think it's just so awesome. Yes, we have conversations about, like, I know, I'm sure some of you all that are listening are like, oh, well, you just had the thing about the auctions. And that just was exactly what it was, a discussion just like this, because I am a collector that's a YouTube channel, and this is what I do. This is what I've done from the beginning. I do role play, I do hauls, I do chats, I do changing videos. But a main thing I do is talking and chatting and having conversations and, starting up discussions of, what people think of this, that, and the other, reviewing, I mean, it's part of what I do here. So it's definitely not personal. And I certainly feel like, um, you know, I do a ton of praising artists, specifically, when we were talking about the auctions, that's an artist that clearly I love their work and have been doing nothing but, basically promoting their work for years. So if I had was started a discussion about, something that was being talked about amongst a lot of collectors, um that's all that was. But anyways, that's not what this is about. This is just curious if anyone has thoughts to add on, the history, those of you that have been around, to talk about, like, what you've seen, how you've seen this art progress, basically the hobby, the industry, and the art itself, progressing along. Because I feel like collectors now, like all of you, like me, like, we're almost like pioneering here. And of course, most certainly the artists. But, we are the kind of first generation here, I think, of collectors of the art in this way. Reborn dolls, silicone dolls, fall under that umbrella of it's a, doll reborn, brought to life, whatever. They fall into the general category when you look at it on a whole. So, it's not like, oh, this was 50 years ago, where you could say, my mother or my grandmother collected these dolls, appreciated this art, because they didn't have these kinds of dolls, the reborn and the silicone dolls that we have now. They had other types of dolls, composition dolls, porcelain dolls, cloth dolls. They had, those sorts of dolls, but this is a whole new game here. This is a whole new, type of doll. And literally, if you look at it, like, we're all, here. We're all the first generation. And those of you that have been in the hobby, 10 plus years, 15 plus years, 20 plus years, you are all really the foundation. But even us coming in, and those of us that have come in the past 5 years or so, we've added on to you. We're still part of that first generation of reborn collectors. If I have my years right and my math right, because these dolls just haven't been around that long, you know what I'm saying? So what do you all think of that, and where do you all see it going in the future? I want to see if Oscar has any pee-pees left. Oops, whoa, oh, lots of pee, lots of pee. You all can see it dripping from the back, instead of showing you. I can't believe he just totally did a pee-pee. I had a feeling he might have some more in there, so let's let him leak this out. Okay. Let me put him down and back up again. All right, so we got a little bit of leaking here going on. So anyways, let me know in the comments what you all think, about I don't know how I'm going to name this video, the conversation, but what you all think about the history and the future of the reborn hobby in general. Just figured, get a general chat going. Where do you all see this going in the future? Do you all think collectors like us are like a flourishing, quote, breed, or do you think we're like a dying breed, and the next generation is gonna be, we're mixed with this counterfeit stuff? And do you think in 30 or 40 or 50 years, our kids or our grandkids will be looking at these dolls like the ones that are real art are true collector's items because there's so much other stuff on the market? Do you think we will fend off that it will always stay, that people will want to spend the money to have a doll done correctly with this type of realism? I mean, I would think that there's always going to be a market for collectors that want that ultimate realism, actual real art, and dolls that look and feel, like babies. And there's just no way to factory produce. I mean, they could factory produce baby dolls, or even factory and then hand painted baby dolls all day long, but it's still gonna be a commercial, thing where employee, it's just gonna would be different, right? So I'm just curious where you all think. I mean, I don't like the thought of it going that way, but we see so much of it, and you do see people, I think more in particularly newbies coming into the hobby, where they just, can't or aren't ready to, pay, a certain above kind of a certain price. And, taking into account when you add up the cost of a kit, just like a vinyl reborn kit alone, which is the average price runs around $105, I guess. You can get in less expensive kits, but I think that's becoming harder and harder to get like the really inexpensive. From what I'm seeing, that could just be right now because of the pandemic, but oh my gosh, this is going to cut me off. All right, everyone, I'm going to have to let y'all go. This is a very long chat. So for those of you that stayed till the end and are hanging in there, thank you. Don't forget on the way out to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure that you are subscribed so that you never miss a video. And we will see you all next time. Make sure you leave a comment and get in on this discussion. Let me know where you all think this is going. Is this something that anybody's thought about? I'm just curious. All right, everyone, till next time. God bless.